All right, good morning and welcome to
to
Maseches Chagigah, Daf It, number 20. Shmuel, what have you just bought over here? Shmuel has made a new purchase. What is this about? Dashti. He's being paid to promote this. What is it about, the Sefer?
I don't know.
Amajrich l'shliach sibor u'marichim tfilastam v'hilchos hanachudos. Talking about shliach sibor and people that daven too long. What do you do with halachas? What do you do too long? You daven too long?
I daven long, so yes, I try.
So why don't you daven shorter? How long is your Shemona
I got
Esrei?
into this habit. I don't know what to tell you.
How long do you daven Shemona Esrei? Because my Shemona Esrei, I've clocked it. It's between 1.5 to 3 minutes usually. Actually, it's really the same thing every day. I don't know. It's maybe like 2 minutes. I don't even time it, but it's like 2 minutes because I come sometimes. I don't mind coming to Marav. Marav starts, let's say, 7 o'clock at night. I don't mind coming like 7:07 or 7:08, where they're already in the middle of Shemona Esrei, because it takes me about 2 or 3 minutes to say Birchos Kriyas Shema, and then 2 minutes to finish davening. So that's 7:11, 7:12, and they're not done with Shemona Esrei until around 7:14. So you know what? I end up having to wait for them. It's pretty sad, but it's pretty practical when you don't have to be exactly on time for a minyan. Because, I live in a community where there's a lot of, this is a problem, right, Shmuel? It's a problem we have to discuss. People daven Shemona Esrei is a little too long. I don't know how long it takes to say the words of Shemona Esrei. I think even if you don't say them, I think I say them at a pretty normal pace. Even if you say them a little slower, it shouldn't take more than 3 to 4 minutes. I conjecture that Shemona Esrei here is around, the average Shemona Esrei is around 7 to 8 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes sometimes.
I don't know. Maybe Milk is around 7 to 8 minutes.
I once had a friend. He told me about a yeshiva that I was in. Name the yeshiva, right? Freeman's yeshiva in Beitar, used to be in Yerushalayim. He said there are yeshivas that maybe learn on the same level. What's unique about the yeshiva that we were in? There is no one that davens a Shemona Esrei as long as our yeshiva. And you know what? I think he was right. I think the average Shemona Esrei is somewhere between around 12 minutes, 12, 13 minutes for a Shemona Esrei. Now, if you have to say a Shemona Esrei in 12 or 13 minutes, and there were people that daven longer, those were half the people maybe finished on time before Shliach Tzibur started, but there's some people gone for 20, 25 minutes. I mean, that's a long time. I mean, to daven a Shemona Esrei for even 12 minutes, 13 minutes, I'll have to imitate how your tefillah has to go. Baruch Ato Ash. That's a little too slow. Think about it. We say that Shemona Esrei is supposed to be Omi Lifnei Melech. You're speaking in front of a king. Imagine going in front of a king and going in front of, I don't know, any king that there is.
Think about what you were about to say.
Imagine going in front of a king. Think about this. Yeah. And you start singing, hello. Go in front of President Biden, you say, good.
For President Biden, I think.
Whatever, not President Biden. A different emperor. You go in front of a king and you go, hello.
Let me. What about the other way? I have a better. Let's go in front of the king. Let's go in front of the king of Prussia and say, hello, King Prussia. I want to ask you a question right now. Please don't be angry.
No, but I don't say it like that. I say, good morning, Your Honor. Such a pleasure to be in the presence of the king. I say the Shemona Esrei exactly like I speak, which is supposed to be how you say Shemona Esrei. You're supposed to be talking like you talk in front of a king. Maybe you don't make jokes in front of it. You don't start laughing in the middle of Shemona Esrei, but you have to treat it with seriousness. But I mean, and they even have a book about this, the halachos that apply to it. What halachos apply to it?
I don't know about it.
They have a whole book about it.
Okay, let's learn Daf It. You're not things which you have very little knowledge about. That's for sure.
This book is at least 40 pages.
Don't 40 pages. Let's go to Gemara. This is a short Amid. This is the Amid.
Wait, one of the halachas.
I don't know. Yes.
If you're davening over a half an hour and you have to use the bathroom, what's the halacha?
What do you mean, what's halacha?
What's the halacha? What do? You find yourself a problem. You're davening to Shemona Esrei of half an hour.
The Gemara,
and you have to use the bathroom.
There's a Shulchan Aruch.
What's the answer? I'll tell you what the halacha. Daven is shorter Shemona Esrei.
It's a Shulchan Aruch about these things.
All right, let's start the Gemara. I wanted. Oh wow, 5 minutes in. That was Okay, let's start. I want to get back to something I talked about in the coffee room before with Rabbi Wittau, with the Rosh Kollel, and a new chassan of one of the Rabbanim in the community. I wanted to get back into that about reading Mishpacha magazine. Are you allowed to read it or not? The Rosh Kollel puts it in his bathroom, will not take it out of his bathroom. Under no circumstances will ever take it out of his bathroom. In fact, he has lasers that on the entrance to his bathroom door that if he passes through the laser and it recognizes the Mishpacha magazine, it will zap him.
That's crazy. You think it's funny? Just come on, let's go. We have to have the only.
Okay, but it's relevant. We're going to talk about something that's relevant to that in a second. The Gemara says in the bottom of Yotem Beis, here we go. Amar of Mari, the second to last line. Shema minach chulin shenasot haras hakodesh kodesh damu. We see from our Mishnah that chulin, that right, a regular person doesn't have to eat chulin b'tara. You can buy a loaf of bread from the makolet, right, in the store, and you can eat it even if you're tummy. Even if you're tummy, you're touching maize, a dead person, you're allowed to eat it, right? You don't have to be tor, but certain tzaddikim, they make sure they eat their chulin in the state of tyro all the time. So the Gemara has a machlokes in other places. Is it considered like kodesh, not only like regular? It has a din of karbonos. The Gemara wants to assume that it has din of karbonos. Where do you see it in our Mishnah? The Gemara says at the top of Kaf and Aleph, the lokasani behu maila, doesn't say anything special, right? The Mishnah says big day ama aretz medrus laprushin, big day prushin medrus latruma. It doesn't mention anything about a special category of chulin shenasot haras hakodesh. So it must be chulin shenasot haras hakodesh is not a unique thing. It just has a level of kodesh itself, right? So the Gemara disproves of it. Dilma hay lokasani behu maila di damul truma. Maybe it's like not like kodesh, like truma, hatani truma. If damul chulin, if it's like chulin, maybe it's really a chulin. Hatani the chulin. It says the chulin. It's not chulin shenasot haras hakodesh. Harein kechulin. We have a brayso which says one brayso says Tanakama says they're like chulin. Other brayso they call me harein ketruma. It's like truma. The reason I'm bringing this in, let's continue. Al Seifa, you see from the Seifa, Yosef ben Yezer Yachas is the Seifa of our Mishnah. Yosef ben Yezer Yachas Jebaguna, who was one of the pious people in the Kahuna, Aisam Atpachto Medrus Lakodesh. His handkerchief he treated as Medrus Lakodesh. Yochanan Goda Yaochal Taras Lakodesh Kol Yama Vaitam Mispacha. So Medrus Lachatas. He would be noeg to treat all his chulin like Kodesh, and his handkerchief was considered Medrus Lachatas for the Mechatas. Lachatas in the Kodesh low. It's even a higher level. For Chatas, Mechatas is the highest level, but it didn't have din of Kodesh. Alma Kasar Chulin Naso Daras Kodesh Kodesh Damu. I'm sorry. It actually is a proof. It's a proof from the Seif of our Mishnah that it's Medrus Lachatas, meaning it's Tameh for people who want to deal with Mechatas, but the lower level it does have. It has a level of Kodesh, which is the level immediately below Mechatas. So therefore you see Chulin Shnas Daras Kodesh Kodesh Damu. Okay, that concludes that discussion. And I'll just bring in this short anecdote of Wittau, Rosh Kollel over here, and he said in the coffee room over here just now that he said he learns Daf Yomi also, so he mentioned that what the pshat of Chulin Shnas Daras Kodesh Damu. He says the pshat is, what's the pshat? The pshat is that really the way it's supposed to be is that the whole weekday, even your mundane activities, you should treat as Kodesh. Everything in your life should have Kedusha. You shouldn't have chulin in your life. You shouldn't be able in a state of tumah and go to the makolet and buy a box of Cheerios. No, you have to go into the mikvah and then buy the box of Cheerios.
That's not what he said.
That's what he was saying. So I just want to quote, because we were discussing Mishpacha magazine also tangentially in the conversation with him, that he mentions, because he's friends with Jonathan Rosenblum, Jonathan Rosenblum, who's one of the writers, the main writers of Mishpacha magazine. So therefore, because he's friends with him, he buys Mishpacha magazine, but he puts it in his bathroom because apparently it's tameh, and the bathroom is a makom tumah, so you can keep the tameh things, chas v'shalom. Some people think Mishpacha is tameh. I don't think so. You keep impure things in the bathroom, but out of the bathroom you shouldn't take them. But the point is that in Mishpacha magazine this week, I don't know if you read this or not, there was a story of a boy from Jacksonville, Florida. He went to Lakewood. He visited Lakewood. He's a Jewish boy, not a Haredi boy. He went to Lakewood, New Jersey, and he asked his father, a young boy, he said, it was a Sunday. He said, why is everyone dressed in their Shabbos clothes on Sunday? His father said, no. This is how they dress the whole week. They wear white and black and white. You wear Shabbos clothes the whole week. So you see in Lakewood, New Jersey, they listen to Right Withal. You see the whole Haredi world listen to Right Withal, and they dress in Shabbos clothes the whole week. So
nice.
I find two problems with this. One problem with this is that what's the differentiation between Shabbos and the rest of the week? This boy has a good point, right? Shabbos is supposed to be more holy than the rest of the week. So you're wearing Shabbos clothes the whole week. How do you differentiate Shabbos? And second of all, the point is that the whole notion that it's a mitzvah, if you happen to be one of these pious people, but for most people, we're regular people, they have a type of clothing called casual clothing. I just want to introduce my listeners to a type of clothing. They actually have two things. They have athletic clothing, which if you're bold enough to pick up a basketball or kick a soccer ball, they have clothes made for that. A whole brands, Nike, Reebok, Adidas, they have big brands out there. Under Armour, devoted to providing clothing for these activities. And even if you don't want to play sports, you have a little too much belly fat, you gave up your miyayish after, getting down below 250 pounds.
Wow.
I'm joking. I don't know, 220 pounds. They have something called casual clothing. Did you know that? That people actually wear clothing that are casual, like me. See, this sweater over here is a casual sweater. It's a V-neck Tommy Hilfiger sweater. My shirt over here is a Brooks Brothers shirt. It's a casual because it's Oxford. You see how it's an Oxford? Okay. It has the buttons over here in the collar. That makes it a casual shirt. Brooks Brothers sells formal shirts, but there's a whole line of clothing for casual clothing. I'm just telling you, it's okay to wear casual clothing. I think this boy in Jacksonville is right. Whether the problem is that I don't know if this Rosh Kollel read that in the bathroom because it mentioned the word Shabbos, so he didn't want to read the word Shabbos in the bathroom. I'm joking. I don't know. Whatever. I'm having a good time. Shmuel, are we having a good time today?
No, we're not.
We're having a good time. We're not learning. All right, let's go. It's a short daf. We have time to
no, it's
banter.
not time to learn. Let's go.
All right. So the Gemara says a new story. Amar Rabbi Yonasan ben Elazar Nafla Maparoso Himano. Let's say your Maparoso really means your cape, right? A cape, a barber's cape. You're in the barber shop. Your cape, what they cover you with, falls off. Himano. Amar L'Chavero Tnali. He says to his friend who's sitting there waiting to get his hair cut, give it to me, Vanasalo. And he gives it to him Tmeya. The cape is considered Tame. Amar Yonasan and Amram, a different halach. And it's Kafalo Kilim Shal Kim Shal. Right? You go into your closet, you want to wear Shabbos clothing. You want to wear Shabbos clothing, and you put on you by accident you took your shirt because they're both white shirts. You took your white shirt that you wear during the weekday. The love shant nitmu would become tamei. A third incident: two women who were chaveros, they're prushim. They keep all the halachas. They went to the mikvah, and their clothes got mixed up. They said both are tamei because Rachosh is one of them is an Am Aretz and she's a Nida and Matama or Begad the Maskul or Rabbi Yoshai. Rabbi Yoshai has a problem with all these stories. Elamata Hoshit Yadol Lasal Litol Paschit and Valta Biyadol Pasor, and you stick your head in a basket, right? You want to take wheat bread and you got barley bread. Because you got the wrong thing. And the point of these things is you're not doing shimur, right? We're talking about again this concept chulin shnasa ataras kodesh. You have to watch it if you're gonna be machmir to treat your chulin to make sure it's tahor, right? If you don't watch it properly, if there's halama, there's forgetfulness, so then it becomes tummy. We treat it as tuma, not real tuma, just according to your standards, it's tummy. You're going to say that's tummy. Real tummy. It's true. We say it's not true. That if you think it's a barrel of wine and it turns out it's a barrel of oil, so it's tor malatame. It's not going to tell me other things. The Gemara says, "Well, tamayich." According to your reasoning, I'm a seifa. Say the end of the brayse of asur malachol. We see it's asur to eat. So you see, In fact, it does become tamei. Amai. Well, I'm Rabbi Yirmiyah ba'omer shmartia medavar matama v'lo medavar haposla. Where it says this price is talking about where a person he's watching it, that it shouldn't become tamei. Tamei, the difference between tamei and psul is that a psul means it becomes tamei, but it can't be tamei something else. Tuma means that it got tuma, but it can transmit it. It's so tamei, it can transmit it to another something else also. So he had kavanah to be shomered from things which would make it possible, right? Things which would make it possible like a sheni, but from a rishon which would make it tamei, because a rishon can transmit to a sheni, so therefore he wasn't shomer it. So the Gemara asks, there's a concept that you could watch something halfway. And it's true, yes, there is. He put his hand in a basket, right? You put a basket on your shoulder. You have a shovel, right, to take out some dates from your basket. He was watching the basket that shouldn't become tamei, but he didn't watch the metal spoon. The basket is tor. The magrefa, the spoon is tamei. Hasal tor tamei de magrefa. So the Gemara tangentially asks, why should the sal, the basket, remain pure? The magrefa should make it tamei. Lasal. So the Gemara says that in kli matame kli. The Gemara says that generally a kli can't be matame a kli because in order for a kli matame kli, the kli has to be an avatuma. Generally, kli are not avatumas. Avatuma, you'd have to sit on the kli. A nida would have to sit on the kli or something like that, or a tamei mason would have to touch the kli. It's not usual for a kli, so therefore it's only a rishon, and a rishon can't make another kli. A kli never becomes a sheni. Only certain things become a sheni. Ochel becomes a sheni, but kli can never become a sheni. Well, tamei masha basal, but make sure tamei the ochel become a sheni. I'm Ravina ba'omer shmarti b'davar shematamo v'lo b'davar aposo. So you see a proof over here. Ravina is answering this brayso that's talking about obviously where you're in shomer, you watch it from something which will matame, but now davar shall passel it. So therefore, becoming a sheni, the becoming a sheni, that's going to passel it because the food can't transmit tuma anymore. So the Gemara says, "Mikol makom kasha." Still, we have a question from all these cases. Why is it that hesech hadas, right? We see the brisa is okay because he had half das to be shomer from something and not to shomer from something else. But why is it when you flip your Shabbos clothes to weekday clothes, it becomes tamei? V'od, most of Rav bar Avua, ma'asev isha achas. There was an incident with a certain woman. Shabbos ne'er Yishmael. V'amrlo Rebbe beged zarak did b'tara. She was a seamstress. She weaved this beged. V'lo yabalibi l'shomer b'tara. But I wasn't shomer. I didn't watch it in Tara. Mitoch dika shaya Rebbe Yishmael botka. Yishmael asked her, interrogated her, asked her a question. Amrlo Rebbe nida mashcha yimi b'chevel. There was actually a woman who was a nida that she pulled the string already inside the loom. So Amar Yishmael kamak dolim dirichamim shayu omrim belibo l'shamro l'tar in belibo l'shamro tamei. Only if you had in mind to watch it the whole time becomes tar. If you didn't have in mind, it's tamei because we see she wasn't careful about the woman bringing the string into the loom. Shuv ma'aseh b'isha achas. Another incident with a woman. Shabbat Tzner Yishmael. Amar lo Rebbe mapa zarak tiai. Wove a napkin, a decorative napkin, a handkerchief, a tara, I wasn't shomer in tara. He interrogated her. Amrlo Rebbe nima nifsakali. Actually, one of the strands broke while I was weaving it. And I tied it with my mouth. It was a small knot. I didn't make a small knot. So I did it with my mouth. And now we know that the liquid, the saliva that comes from a woman who's a nida, even though it wasn't a beged yet when she started weaving it, by the time it became a beged, it was shalosh al shalosh, so 3 inches, 3 tvachim by 3 tvachim. Maybe the saliva was still moist, and therefore she was a nida of matamet. Only you had in mind to be shomer your Torah, if not. So it says bishlama. So now the Gemara has to answer all these questions. So it says bishlama. How you doing? I don't know. You want to come on the shir?
Sure, you sure, right?
I want you to tell me about casual clothing. He's wearing casual clothing. Come here for a second. Come. What's your name?
Yeshua Pariser.
Yeshua?
He's from Muncie.
Pariser?
Very nice boy. He learns in Yisrael Lev.
Yisrael Lev. Listen. Hi.
Hello.
What's your name again? Shmuel?
Shua.
Shua Pariser. We're talking about, there was a story in Mishpacha magazine this week. A boy from Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, came to Lakewood. And he asked his father, he said, I don't understand why it was Sunday. Why is everyone wearing Shabbos clothes on Sunday? Right? because he saw them dressed in white and black. So he figured they're wearing Shabbos clothes. So I wanted to introduce to the world that there is people in the world that wear casual clothing, right? Shua is wearing casual clothing. He is not wearing Shabbos clothing. Where did you get this shirt from, Shua?
Where did you have a grandfather who lived in Queens?
America.
America? Which brand is your shirt?
I don't know.
You don't
Target, Gap.
Target or Gap. But this is called a gingham shirt, right? A gingham?
Nautica, actually.
Nautica. Oh, he has the. Okay, good. Nautica. It's a good brand. I like Nautica. Also, this is if you're interested in designs, this is called, I believe, a gingham. Gingham design. When you have, there's plaid which has 3 colors, tartan which has 4, and gingham which has only white and another color, white and blue. It's a very nice shirt, Shua. And what do you have to say to my audience about wearing casual clothing during the week? You're in favor of this, or really, hopefully, one day you'll get to the Madrega, the level where you'll only be wearing white and black. What are your aspirations in life?
Is white and black a Madriga?
Do you feel that? What do you feel about this?
I feel that.
Do you aspire one day to only wear white and black? Are you happy with your casual clothing?
That's a great question.
What are your Rebbeim teaching you in Yisrael Lev? Yisrael Lev
They're teaching us that it's not all taloi on our chitzonis.
It's not telling the chitzonis. No. They're not in favor. So, but a lot of the Rebbeim in Yisrael...
I could be wearing this, and I could know more Torah than a guy that's wearing white and black.
Right, it's true. But a lot of the Rebbeim in Yisrael Lev, they're wearing white and black, right?
Yeah, because they're like older and more mature. So like, when you look in the world, it's more like older people and more mature people don't wear colored clothing anymore.
So that's the way you want to stay. Do you plan on working and getting a job, or are you going to learn full time after you get married?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet. How old are you?
19.
He's 19. He's in Yisrael Lev. Yisrael Lev is, right, I guess, a modern Orthodox. What's your background? You're.
I don't like these names.
Oh. Okay.
What is it?
No,
what's your name?
I'm from a modern Orthodox background.
I don't like his titles.
Where are you from? Muncie, you said?
Yeah.
Muncie. All right, whatever. He's a
mixture.
He's a yid. He's a yid who wears casual clothes. And listen, if you see him in GQ magazine sporting his Nautica shirt, don't be surprised. They're going to have a feature on casual clothing with relation to the Orthodox Jewish world, how it fits in. Thank you, Yoshua, right? Yoshua is your full name. Yoshua is an advocate of casual clothing, and he does read Mishpacha magazine or not? You read Mishpacha magazine?
Sometimes.
Do you like Mishpacha magazine?
Sometimes.
Do you believe Mishpacha magazine is okay to read?
Yes.
Or it's heresy?
Yes.
Yes, it's heresy. Sure, think it's heresy.
Yes to both.
Yes, he reads it. All right. Do your Rebbeim read Mishpacha magazine?
No clue, but
you gotta ask them.
Rabbi my shul writes.
Yeah. Ooh, what's his name?
Rabbi Avi Newberger, Shlita.
Avi Newberger. Okay.
Avram Newberger.
I think he once in a while, right?
Yeah.
He writes it. All right. His rabbi of a Talmud in Yisrael Lev writes it. I mean, I think you can't go wrong over there, right? He's the rabbi. His Talmud wears casual clothes, and the rabbi writes in Mishpacha magazine. So why is Mishpacha publishing this? What does Mishpacha magazine believe? Do they believe you have to wear white and black or not? That is a question you have to ask. Ask Rav Newberger, because he has contacts with Mishpacha magazine. Ask him what the shita of Mishpacha magazine is. Do they believe in white and black, or do they believe in casual clothing? Can you do that? Can you write a letter to him? Call him up. Are you on a phone basis with him?
Yeah.
Okay, call him up and ask him what his opinion is, and we'll have that in the share. Shmuel, come back.
I'm not calling him right now. He's sleeping.
Well, when you call him next, ask him that a Maggid Shir from Telstone wants to know if white and black is the opinion of Mishpacha. What is the official opinion of Mishpacha magazine about wearing white and black? We have to find this out. Thank you, Yoshua. Please find that out.
All right.
You'll come back and find that out when you speak to him. If you speak to him next time. All right. Thanks. That would really help my ratings. All right. Thanks a lot, Yoshua. All right. Let's finish this year. Shmuel deserted me. He was obviously offended by this mention of casual clothing. My friend Shmuel left. All right. So let's finish the daf. So the Gemara says. So the Gemara says, Bishlama, the Rebbe Lezer Bar Tzadok, Kalachas Vachas Omeres Chaverti, Eshes Ama Aretz, Umaska Daitamina. The Gemara says, in the case of Lezer Bar Tzadok, what was the case of Lezer Bar Tzadok? two women in the mikvah, that they switched their clothing. So therefore, the reason we can be machmir over there, even though we established that if you have no hesach hadas, you have in mind to watch your clothing, therefore, even if you lose sight of it for a second, it remains Torah. There, because the two women were in a mikvah, so therefore it's possible one of them was on Amaretz, and she was a Nida, and she had hesach hadas. So Rabbi Yonasan ben Amram Nami came when the Kalim the Shabbos Avadu Shimur Tfei Masach Daita Minayu. Shabbos clothes, you watch them more. The more expensive your Shabbos clothes, I don't know if they're more expensive, they're nicer. Your Shabbos clothes, whether they have to be nicer or even more expensive, that's a discussion for a different time. I did discuss this one time. So therefore, Shabbos clothes you watch more, you're more careful with them. So therefore, it's considered a hesach hadas in regards to the whole clothing. El Rabbi Yonasan ben Elazar and Avil hu shimur biyadi the chavre. Rabbi Yonasan ben Elazar's case, where his cape, the barber's cape, fell off of him while he was getting a haircut. While his friend was picking it up, he could watch it in his friend's hands. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Chazak and El Mishamar Mashiach ben Chavero. We have a tradition, an established rule. People, when someone else handles something that was on them, they do not pay attention to it. They let the other person take care of it, and they lose attention even for a second. The Gemara says below, is this true? Tab of Chaf Amad Beis Vatanya Rishu Chamarav Polov Tuunin Tyros. He had his donkey riders, his workers, they were dealing with Taros. Even though he's on the journey with them, and he distances himself more than a kilometer from them, Tahoros of Tahoros. They're Torah. He says to them, go, walk ahead of me, I'll come after you. Once you can't see them anymore, Tahoros of Tmeos, then we assume they're Tameh. Again, this whole Gemara is talking about Chul and Shnato Taras Kodesh, whether you have to treat it like Kodesh or not. So the Gemara says, Maishna Reisha, Maishna Seifa. What's the difference in the Reisha and the Seifa? Right? If there's a cloud that a person's not shomer what's in the hands of his friend, in both cases should be Tameh. The Reishas talk about a unique case where he actually had his workers be tovel in a mikvah before they handled this. Therefore, he knew they were Torah. Yaki Seifa Nami. Seifa Nami Mistam is talking about also where he had Seifa is talking about the same pole and the same workers, so he was going to tire them. So why should there be a problem? Whereas in Amaretz Machbet al Maga Chaveir, Amaretz doesn't care if someone else touches it. So even though he's Torah, but his friend might touch. Yaki Reisha Nami. So the Reisha also, he should be worried that he's going to give it to his workers are going to give it to another Amaretz. So where's the Balaam Derech HaChalasa? It's talking about a case where he can come from, there's different directions to come from, there's different paths, and he might come at any moment, and obviously the owner is going to be very upset that if he put them in a mikvah in order to retire his stuff, so therefore he's not going to want them to give it to other people, so they're going to be afraid that he's going to come, so they're not going to give it to other people. Whereas Yaki Seifa now, maybe also in the Seifa they should be worried. Because the Gemara says, once he says, go ahead of me, I'll come after you, they're not so worried they're going to trick them and come on a circuitous path and try to figure out what they're doing. They are so mechdas, they have smichas das that he's not going to come, so therefore they'll give it over to their Amar's friend, and therefore it's Tameh. I hope you enjoyed today's shir. Hajjan Allah in Dorshin. We finished the second parak. Chagigah. We have one parak left, and goes until Daf, I believe Chav Zayin, 27. So we have about, 6 or 7 more days, 8 more days. We're getting to Maseches Yevamos. If you didn't hear yesterday's shir about the segula, unbelievable segula that I'm putting forth for Seder Nashim, check it out. Check out yesterday's shir, and just remember that this segula does not come around every day. It's a unique segula, being curated by me, myself, and my partners. It's a curated experience, something most people are not going to maybe see again ever in their lifetime. So I want you to consider the segula, to think about the segula, prepare mentally for the segula, and hopefully you'll join in, you'll find your shidduch, you'll have your child, you'll name the baby after me, and it will be Shalom Al Yisrael.